Good morning, good evening, good morning to folks in US, and good evening to folks in India and other places, or good afternoon to Europe. We are going to run our session 2 on this course, AI for SAP Consultants with Claude and MCP. Our trainer, how are you?
Good, Alok. Thanks. How are
Good,
you?
good. Can share your screen and the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So we,
I think for another couple of minutes so that other people can join. Meanwhile, I'll be sharing the PowerPoint that
yeah. Yep,
I'll do that.
absolutely. So we had a wonderful session with about 160 or 170 participants. It was a great session. Again, on June 7th, we had the demo session. Then on we had session 1, great session, amazing questions. Some of the questions were very good. After every session, right, these 2 sessions, we'll send you the recording, so don't worry about that. We'll take all your questions here in the chat as well. And for now, we'll just wait for another 1 or 2 minutes because there's quite a lot of people registered, and then start this session. In the meantime, I'll just ask you to do a couple of things. Can you please mention in the chat where are you logging from? I mean, like state and country. We would love to know that. If you can mention in the chat where are you logging from, that'd be great. And if you have any questions, so the flow of the session goes well, please do not unmute and ask your question right away. Let the trainer come to you. So please raise your hand, or you can go to the Q&A section and post your question. We will bring you on stage and unmute you and ask you to ask your question. But during the session, as the session is going on, we will be able to answer most of your questions about the batch start date, cost, and everything. All of that stuff, cohort, LMS. We covered quite a lot in the demo session and session 1, but we can go over it one more time if you want. How this training will help you, what are the different training programs we have, all of that we can answer. Thank you so much. I see about 12 chats mentioning where they are logging in from. Amazing. Quite a lot of people from Germany. We can surely help you with this. Just to let you know, the different programs we are launching right now are AI for MM consultants, AI for SD consultants, AI for EWM consultants, AI for ABAP consultants. Those are different trainings. They have nothing to do with Claude and MCP. Now, the Claude and MCP training is AI for SAP consultants with, AI with Claude and MCP. That's generic. That goes for every consultant. We are also launching another course, which is AI for SAP consultants with Copilot. That is also another one we are launching. There is about another 12, 15 programs we are launching with. We also have an SAP AI masterclass. All of that stuff, we'll send that to you later. All right. It's about 8:04. I'm not going to waste too much of your time.
Hello, quick one thing. Difference for this course and AI for masterclass. SAP.
It's huge. Let me mention that in the chat.
From different locations. So am I audible properly? Just give a thumbs up so that, or maybe text. Okay, great.
Before you jump into this session, I just want to have a clarification. This morning, I saw a news that the Claude and Mythos are being banned by the US government for its use in Anthropic. So Claude 5, Claude Fable 5, and Mythos 5. So is this session is associated with those versions of Claude?
I'll cover that quick. All right. So those are a very, very good question, but we would love that question on the chat. Fable 5 is the new version of Claude. You don't have to use Fable 5. You can use Opus 4.5 or the previous version. That choice you have when you are connected to, through MCP, to the SAP. You have full control on the version you use on Claude Pro. Does that answer your question?
So
Awesome.
basically, Claude is the generative AI tool that we use. Okay, it has various versions of LLMs, as Alok just said. It has Sonnet 4.6, it has Opus 4.8, and you have Fable 5 also. You had it for I think a week or so, and then since Opus is one of the most efficient models developed by Claude till now, it belongs to the Mythos family. And Mythos is really great. So the US wants to restrict its usage only within US as of now, and probably market it with a different plan or different thing later on. It will definitely come, but this course is not dependent on Fable 5 not being available or so. It is nothing like that. You can use any other models of Claude. That's fine. So this is where we stopped. If you see the slide, and where I was telling you the SAP view of AI enabled automation, and in the last point we were talking about the SAP's direction, which is not AI instead of automation, but it is AI plus automation. So they coexist together, they live together, and they are made to work together. Okay. So this is where I stopped. So I'll continue from the next slide, basically for the SAP projects. Yeah. So now the question is where AI fits in SAP projects life cycle. You see the life cycle of a SAP project, right from discovery to explore to realize, deploy, and run. I believe all of you must be aware of this life cycle, right? So now actually we are getting practical about the delivery. Okay. The SAP projects run on a SAP Activate methodology, and this slides list the phases, these 5 phases. Okay. So for our purposes, we are focusing from discovery through run, which maps to the main delivery life cycle, the part where you and I actually live as consultant, and where AI can assist us continuously rather than helping us in one magic moment. So here is the framing I want you to hold for the next 5 slides that we have. That AI is not a single feature you bolt on at the end. It's nothing that, after getting things done manually or maybe getting things done in other way, you just plug in an AI component saying that we have leveraged AI. No, it is not like that. AI is not a single feature, as I said. You don't bolt on at the end. It is a companion that travels through the whole life cycle with you, and its job changes at every phase. It performs variety of personas and roles throughout the journey. And like for example, in the discovery phase, it helps you to understand the problem. Most of the times we have seen that it becomes very difficult to understand the core need, or the what exactly is the problem that we are addressing that by the project. So that struggle to get the complete idea of of the business case or the business problem that you're trying to resolve by the project, that is solved by AI. In the explore phase, it gives you the design and the solution. So basically, in the next phase, you find out ways how do you approach towards that problem. Okay, there also you can use AI to leverage AI to get help. And in the realize phase, it helps you to build and test. It helps you to build and test the things that you have already you know developed. You can I mean, anyways, you're building things in this project, so you have to test it. So doing the testing efficiently, AI comes at your help. In the deploy phase, it helps you to change the basically it helps you to j- provide the change management. Basically, you land up with the work of change management, and then finally deploy it using any operations team. So that can also be automated. And in run phase, it is primarily the maintenance phase where you operate and improve. You have governance, everything you can establish with the same assistant, performing various roles and providing different features and value at every stop. Okay. Concretely, I mean, if I say in one concrete, sentence, that AI is that companion which does the reasoning, which does the analysis, providing suggestion, acting as your complete co-worker throughout your journey in this project. And that will have an impact on your project budget, your project time, your execution stats, and your quality deliverables everywhere is going to make an impact. And I would say 90% it will be positive impact. I will still keep 10% because people are not using AI in the right way. So you will know how to leverage that and fill that gap of 10% also, which will make AI 100% efficient in your projects. Okay. So now, as Claude is doing the reasoning with an MCP connector reaching into whatever source system that holds the truth for that phase, the document repository in discovery, the workshop notes that you have in explore phase, the test management tool that you have in realize phase, the service desk in run. So at each phase, you're involving AI here. So as we walk each phase, I'll name both the Claude assisted workflow, where the MCP connector plugs in, and you can identify, basically how, we are plugging in AI here. So let's start the journey of discovery. Okay. So in the next slide, I'll move to the next slide. Yeah. So AI and discovery. So just I'll give maybe 15 seconds for you to just read these 4 steps. I believe this is mostly you can relate it with something that has happened similar, that something similar that has happened with you, right? So discovery is primarily the listening phase. So before you design anything, you have to understand the main pain points of the customer due to which this project was initiated. And many a times what happens is this pain is buried under messy, unstructured stuff, which is not properly documented, which could be in the form of workshop notes or, some support tickets, some historical issues which are not well documented. So this slide is precise that AI helps you to analyze and process the main points from exactly those sources. This is unstructured, language heavy work, which remembers from our earlier table, that is, where the LLM actually shines and, where automation cannot help you at all. Because if you remember, I was telling that automation gives you the same output for the same question that you ask it every time because it is a pre-programmed thing. Here, LLMs are trained with humongous amounts of data. It has a neural network which basically thinks like your own brain and takes decision, right? It is probabilistic. So analyzing the key pain points from all these documents and artifacts that you have, it is possible, which I would definitely say, depending on if you take a realistic case, it is very difficult to find out every single time because there are, so many documents that we have, and data is not structured properly everywhere. So to relate every documents and finding the actual meaning of the issue or maybe the description of the problem, that is the key thing that AI can do most efficiently, which will take days for a project team to do. Okay. Now talking about the second point, which where the AI summarizes the stakeholder interviews and converts them into themes. Think about what that saves. You have run 15 workshops, you have got 80 pages of notes, and normally a senior consultant spends, you know, multiple evenings synthesizing them. So instead of that, Claude reads basically the entire lot of documents, proposes some recurring themes, and an MCP connector to your notes repository or SharePoint is what it reads, directly, and basically it reads the actual files rather than you copy pasting them. So that grounding matters. So basically that MCP connector established here will work in the right areas as per design or program, and you get your themes from your real notes, not from thin air. Okay. And the third point, it detects patterns in business complaints, delays, and recurring exceptions. What it means is just try to identify there's a signal hiding in the noise. So it okay, so not everything might be elaborative and exhaustive, but AI finds the patterns from the complaints. The complaints might be raised by multiple people for the same issue, but in a different way. To get that inner meaning, to do that semantic search, AI is the most capable thing that you can have along with you. And the fourth point, it supports you in identifying the automation redesign, etc., or where AI itself can create any value. So where AI itself create any value, it's this last point is a bit you know subtle and important, I would say. AI helps you decide where AI even belongs so that you don't over engineer. Sometimes people do not realize the capability of AI and they try to fit in AI to places where they are not required. So over engineering AI is also not an advisable thing. So AI lets you decide, where it resides, where it belongs, where it can help best, and where you should not over engineer. A war story caution to close this phase, I would say. Discovery output is a draft of your judgment, never the final word. The consultant still owns the conclusion. You do not have AI taking decisions and fixing things at its own will. I mean, there will be a day, you will still have this. Not at this now, because I think we answered this question pretty well last evening, that there is still a human in the loop. A consultant is the one who takes the final decision or conclusion. AI just gets you a thoughtful, fast first draft faster. Okay, you can get things done faster, and build a first draft of the project. Okay. So move to the next slide, that is explore. So how you can leverage AI in explore phase. So explore is where we understand the understanding in the previous phase in discovery becomes design. You have heard the pain, you know the pain now. Now you shape that pain into a future state solution. So basically you understand the pain, convert that pain into, in IT terms, you interpret it in IT terms, and then you find out a future state solution that will eradicate that pain. And there's a mountain of writing involved. Okay. So the pain might not be a single, pain point. It could be multiple multi-directional pains. So you have to have a humongous amount of writing that needs to be done. So sorry. So that is where AI can step in and help you. So the AI can draft business requirement documents, the user stories from workshop outputs. That's a huge accelerator. Just try to imagine you just finished a fit gap workshop, and instead of facing a blank document, the Claude turns the entire raw discussion into a structured requirement document for you, and creating the user stories for you, and then you refine how you want to use that. Okay. And MCP is anyways connected to your workshop notes or your requirement tool. So you can actually capture whatever was told in the room just within a few minutes, instead of recollecting everything and taking notes, scribbling here and there. Yeah. So the second point is the AI summarizes the fit gap findings across processes and business units. Okay. One big program sometimes might have dozens of processes, and that fit gap matrix spans across a lot of these processes. So having a reasoning model roll it up to a coherent summary, and flagging the gaps that recur every time is a genuinely valuable and steering committee conversation. Okay. So it actually, finds the key findings very fast, very efficiently, and eventually it structures it and documents it for you. Okay. Third point, it also generates a first pass process of explanations where it gives you solution options, it gives you the configuration document drafts. So just note the word first pass and drafts. This slide is honest that it is a starting point. It's not a finished deliverable. Okay. It gives you the first pass. And the fourth point, it helps you prepare and process the design artifacts aligned to future operations. So across the whole phase, the pattern is the same. Claude removes the blank page tag on every artifact, where MCP, keeps the draft grounded to your real output. The consultant's value shifts upward here. Okay. You spend less time in typing the first version, spend you spend less time in finding out where all did you have those documents, where is those documentation, bringing them together, analyzing them manually. No, your that job is gone. Okay. So you can spend more time in exercising the judgment that is coming out of AI. That is where the actual consultant's role is, right? I mean, you are not supposed to bothered about what kind of information or artifact got lost, since it was not captured in a workshop, or it was not captured in a meeting, or some document is not getting or is not available at the time of your analysis. No. So everything is, AI has got you that. It has already provided you a first draft. Now it is up to you to take a decision. That is where your judgment comes in as a human, and certify that whether the design is actually right or not. You have all authority to override the decisions of AI. And in another way, you can provide suggestions to the AI while you chat in Cloud, saying that I am thinking like this. Is this also a right way? It will definitely guide you in that as well. Okay. So it is not making you a robot here to follow blindly whatever it suggests. It gives you options. Just think of a very highly efficient coworker working along with you every single time, and it has access to your real data, real projects, everything. Okay. So this shift, by the way, is the mindset change that we'll talk about in the end. But keep this in back of your mind that this is how we are using AI in our various phases in this project. Coming to the realize phase, where you actually build, configure, and test. So realize is often called the the build and test engine room. Yeah, and it's gloriously document heavy, detail heavy. This is where AI, as I said, it is very good at, where an AI assistant pays for itself. The slide opens with the test case drafting, the defect summarization, if you see these points here, and documentation updates. So just picture it, what you have, that you have got a configured process, and you need hundreds of test cases. Claude drafts them from the requirement, and MCP connector connects into your test management tool, your ALM or any other equivalent tool that you have, and it pulls the requirement from there, pushes the draft case back into the right place. So all these things could be done. The second, point anyway says that it accelerates script generation. Okay. So I think it's very easy to understand that, it accelerates your script generation, your technical explanation. So any techie folks will how efficiently AI codes them for you. So it can also build you the knowledge transfer material. When a technical consultant needs to explain a piece of logic to a functional teammate, or write up a kind of a KT documentation, KT as in, the knowledge transition documentation, which nobody enjoys writing, right? So, but here AI can assist you. So just think in this way at any phase, suppose you are giving a transition to a particular, person on your project, knowledge transition, KT, what we call it, right? So once you're giving this KT, you can have a meeting with that person, connect a live instance, show him, that person, that this is how it is being done. But there is no problem in doing that. But the most boring part comes is when you have to take screenshots for everything. You have to explain it in detail, that this is how you have to do it and all. So that doesn't work, and explaining each and everything that you're explaining and expanding them into a document. So this is where also, Claude can help you. It can get you all these things done within minutes, if not seconds. So the third point is very SAP specific. It supports document extraction and classification in the process automation scenarios. That's a document understanding pattern that we met earlier, and now doing the real work. The Claude reads the inbound document, extracts the fields, and the deterministic automation post it. Okay. So remember, I was telling you Claude and AI and automation works hand in hand. So this is where it is. The fourth point, it helps teams to analyze the failed cases, repeated issues, and root cause themes faster. During a test cycle, you get flood of defects. That is very obvious because no project can be done at a single shot without zero defect or zero, tickets being raised. It is not practically possible, and it is actually good to have defects raised at a very early stage, just to ensure that nothing fails in production later on. Yeah, you have all the test cases scenarios covered. You have all the documentation in your, knowledge management repository, your known error database, etc. So the Claude clusters them into root cause themes that you try to fix, and not kind of hundreds of symptoms. So basically, the issues that you're getting, Claude can categorize them into what theme that they pertain to, and it can organize them in your repository. MCP can help in pulling the live defect log, so the it analysis can be made on the real data, not on any other I would say other test data or something that LLMs normally use. It is done on real data for your real project, because you're connected via MCP. The discipline for this phase is that in realize everything AI produce gets validated before it counts. Okay, a test case that you didn't review isn't a test case, it's a liability. So use the speed, keep the vigor, and use AI in this phase as well. Okay. So moving to the next phase, which is deploy. If you remember in the 5 steps, I think we're in the fourth phase here. So deploy is the moment where the solution meets the real people. And the make or break factor here is that technology. Sorry, I mean the make or break factor is rarely the technology here. It is the adoption. So how you do the deployment of the solution that you have built, and how you can leverage AI. So this slide leads you with generating the role-based training drafts, FAQs, and the cutover communication content. Just think about how much writing a cutover. So I believe you guys know about the cutover, right? The production cutover, where you can actually do the production deployment. So just imagine that kind of documentation that you involved in a cutover. Normally, I have seen projects in my 25 years of career that I did not get the complete documents at any single phase because people were not efficient enough to prepare documents, and there were gaps, and hence we had a lot of challenges in the projects, in deploying projects successfully at the very first time. So, and I wish I would have got AI's help there at that time, but it was not available. I'm talking about 10, 15 years back when I was doing projects hands-on with as a developer. So you have different messages for finance, setups. You have warehouse. You have documentations for management, plus FAQs kind of thing where you run the communications. Because you inform your communications also, right? That this is your instance will be available. These are the new features that will be there, etc. in that project. So Claude helps you to draft it all right in the right tone for each audience, and the MCP connector to your role, connects to your role design, and the training repository keeps those draft accurate, and based on the actual data, it passes on to Claude to ensure that whatever drafting it is doing, it should be grounded to the project itself, your project, your code, your deployment phase. Second point is that it summarizes the release readiness status and key open risk. So before go live, you are juggling a readiness checklist with a hundred of, or maybe, hundreds of items, and a reasoning layer can roll the status up to into a clear go no go summary for the steering committee, because there is a juncture at any project where you take a go no go call. I mean, guys, if you guys are not using these steps, these are very common steps in SDLC. I believe every project must and should use that. But I've known projects where they do not go for a go no go call. I mean, it's a forced go. That should not ideally be happening. But again, so as a consultant, it is your call to initiate that go no go call, and to have a go no go decision meeting with your stakeholders, with your steering committee. You need to have the artifacts ready, your documents ready, that these are the positives, these are the negatives, these are the allowed features, and these could be improved later. Okay, so these are the key things that we discussed in the go no go call. You can highlight your open risk actually in that call, and some risks might actually matter, some might not. So and third point is that the support, it supports service desk preparation with likely user questions and response templates. So your support team isn't caught flat-footed from day one. Claude can anticipate questions from the user and will, kind of pre-draft the answers to these questions. Okay, this is a huge thing, because whenever we have observed that after a deployment or a go live, the next couple of days you get flooded with tickets, questions, change request, you get incidents, priority, severity of a higher priority and higher severity. So all these things are kind of pre-drafted, because it can anticipate the questions with its reasoning and with its thinking. That's the power of AI, and helps your support functions working fine. The fourth is basically the heart of it, as it improves the adoption by giving users guided explanations in a simple language. Okay, a nervous end user, you know, types that, how do I realize this blocked order? Sorry, release this blocked order. So I mean, there could be several questions. How do I approve this invoice, or how do I release this order? Or so it gives you a very clear, simple language answers which are grounded through MCP. And through MCP, the actual configured process, it accesses your SAP data, and it gives you a kind of a manual prepared on the steps. I think in the very first class, in the demo class, I showed you how to draft an RCA. Similarly, you can do it, you know, if you want to know, if you ask a question that, how do I do this? How do I, how do I get a status of this invoice? How do I validate how many errors are there, and what are the next steps? So you can ask any kind of questions. You can do a chain prompting. You can keep on asking Cloud, and finally, once you are satisfied, you go ahead and ask them to document. Yeah. So all these are possible. So that's the difference between a system people can tolerate and the one they can trust. So this is a trustworthy system that you're building. Okay. And deploy is the phase where AI stops being acting as a back office accelerator, I would say, and becomes a frontline adoption tool. Okay. So as you can see on all these four phases till now, we are able to use AI in various forms, in various manner. Okay. So in the run phase, which is the next phase, okay. So run is the steady state phase where what we call it basically, once your deployment is done, your system is live, and now it is about operating it well and improving it continuously. Okay. So you keep on. So this is a support stage of a project where you come under maintenance phase, where you maintain the system, you govern the system, and you ensure that your system is working properly. So, well, let's talk about how this phase can leverage AI and help you. Okay. So I can say this is a phase for co-pilots primarily, where Claude can act as a complete co-pilot for you. And the slide will probably opens with a this opens with a statement that it provides conversational support through the co-pilots and assistant. So this is not the only thing that you have a co-pilot here, but definitely co-pilot is a key role that AI will play here. Okay. So user asks questions in plain language, and they get their grounded answers. Grounded, as I was telling you, directed, channelized answer, day in and day out. Yeah. So if you have a chatbot, if you have an assist program created, it can definitely, resolve a lot of tickets just like that. It can avoid, incidents getting raised because they can solve the problem directly by chatting with it. And it's an intelligent chatbot, not a regular chatbot I'm talking about. Okay. So you can imagine it is exactly the Joule style copilot experience that SAP has described earlier, but you get a reasoning model here because you're using Claude. So I think it will also answer you one more question, which I think was coming up pretty frequently last that you have SAP Joule, why to use Claude again? Because Claude is for reasoning. Okay, so Joule is more like a co-pilot, just giving you the answers that it knows. But Claude is for reasoning. Depending on your questions, it will ground your answers using MCP, find out the best solutions using its neural network, and then answering. So there's a difference between the approach. You are asking a person in your project who's a junior guy. If you ask about a problem, he can give you a solution. He can probably give you one of the good solutions to stop the problem for the time being. But if you go to a very senior architect who had done multiple implementation of similar manner, he will give you another response which can actually make you feel that using those recommendations you can actually safeguard your systems for the next few months without any issues getting raised. That is where reasoning comes in. Claude gives you that reasoning, with Claude answering your questions, with MCP pulling the live business context, the responses actually reflects the actual user data, and it gives you a very high graded, reasoning response for all your problems. Okay. Now, second point, it says that it helps to categorize incidents, summarize tickets, suggest next actions. So your service desk gets thousands of tickets a week, maybe hundreds of tickets a week. The Claude can be used for triages. It can do the triads for them. It categorizes, summarizes, proposes the next step. And an MCP connector, as I said, it gets into the ticketing system, your ServiceNow or any other ITSM, IT service management tool that you guys are using to record and log incidents. And it can read that, the tickets, the meaning of the tickets, and act on the real queue, basically, of the tickets. Okay. This is very important. As I was telling you, these integrations, once you understand how MCP works, forget about anything else. Just focus on MCP. If you know how MCP works, you can integrate with any associated systems that are non-SAP also. We just because see, SAP as a whole also has integrations with many other non-SAP instances where there is a input and the output channel in the architecture diagram where systems are connected to SAP sending data and systems are getting the SAP data. All the systems could be connected together using MCP. Okay. So the third point is identifying the recurring support themes and process improvement opportunities. So process improvement is a part of continuous improvement initiative in any kind of project. Okay. So if you see, normally same 4 to 5 types of problems generates 40% or 50% of your tickets every single time. And I'm pretty sure that you guys have faced it. Okay. So if you have 100 tickets in your queue, doesn't mean that all 100 are unique, unique tickets or unique problems. It could be, maybe there could be 60 unique problems, but 40 or 50% has to be pertaining to the same problem. I mean, when I say same problem, the root cause of the problem is the same. I mean, it could fail at different stages, but fixing one can actually fix a lot of, tickets directly. Okay. So so here Claude with MCP helps you analyze, identify the problem, helps you to fix the process and not the symptom. Okay. So just try to think in this way that people who are not leveraging this, and trust me, in our project, in our office, we are actually leveraging this. So there is a huge movement of support folks being used in other fields, which we used to have a team of around 45 people. Now it is down to around 18. Hopefully, I mean, obviously not in a single month, over a period of time, and we are operating quite well with almost 25% better efficiency than last year when we are having close to 40-45 people. So because and those remaining 30 odd people, they're not removed from the organizations. They are given an opportunity to work on different projects, and this is also given an opportunity for the companies to work on multiple projects together with the same human resource strength that they're having. Now, not all companies are as cool as ours. So there are companies where they feel that there are projects in the pipeline. So when we can reduce from 40 to say 15 or 20 people, then you know what they can do with the remaining 20, 25 people. So only the people with this knowledge who can operate, who knows how to do these things, actually survives in this turbulent weather, I would say. The fourth point, it enables more adaptive operations with grounded business context. The grounded, as I said, that there's a this word will be used multiple times throughout the training, and it's a thread through its, I would say, entire. I mean, it's kind of a thread that we'll use for the entire session. Basically, always remember grounded, grounded, grounded. Basically, MCP works in a grounded manner. It is only working on the systems it is connected to. It does not hallucinate. It does not look at anywhere else, only into your system. So the AI in run is only as good as its connection to live reality. Okay. And that connection is MCP. So across all 5 phases, you have seen that one consistent pattern. Claude supplies the reasoning, MCP supplies the grounding, and the value compounds as the project moves from an understanding the problem all the way to running to the solution, or and maintaining the solution as well. So all these phases we have used AI. Any critical questions that was posted? Maybe I don't know whether if you can summarize and tell one or two key questions or common questions that has come from the folks. I'm happy to answer
Yes.
that.
So MCP can be used as a middleware tool, that is to connect us for HANA to non-SAP.
As I
That's
said,
better.
any integrated system along with SAP, it can be configured in that way. That is not a problem. You can connect to multiple systems, SAP systems, non-SAP systems. So middleware, is basically acting as a bridge between interfaces. So you can definitely connect. I mean, see, it is like a hook or a bridge that you can establish, and with any systems you can do this MCP configuration. It's just that, as I said, SAP, non-SAP, any associated integrated systems within SAP which are from different vendors, anything, yes, you can use MCP. And you have to, because what is the point that your MCP connector is fetching data? Suppose ServiceNow, right? ServiceNow CMDB is your ticketing tool, is your ITSM tool. Okay. Tickets are getting raised in ServiceNow, and your MCP is only connected to your SAP HANA. Okay. S4 HANA or any other, SAP instance that you're using, Signavio or whatever.
Hey, You know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
What is the point of having that? Because the total system will not be aware of what is happening in ServiceNow CMDB or in the ServiceNow ITSM tool. Tickets are getting raised there. How will you resolve the tickets if you're not able to connect, right? So obviously with the entire project, whatever applications they have, we can integrate MCP, should not be a problem. Yeah. Next question. Any other common questions?
One question
The
is
questions only submitted in the chat. I just have, I need if you go back to the chart, to the flow about the methodology that you were showing.
Okay, you want me to go back to the, just stop me
yeah.
where is one? Here?
Yes, go back to
this one, Orpheus?
The first, yes.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is great. So the question, I joined it late, so I want to ask you. I understand the concept of NCP, which is basically connecting the server. So as you know, SAP has these toolchain kits called Calm, Signavio, WalkMe, all of those stuff. Evidently, SAP have its own internal AI embedded in these processes. So what I hear you saying is that given the fact that Claude now comes out with MCP, it's an open connector that allows you to connect to pretty much any of these tools that you're using, whether it's SAP and SAP. The idea of all of this is that it would basically help us as a SAP PMO manager, SAP assistant, pretty much. That's what we're saying. Because
yes,
SAP has those embedded AI. For example, right now, SAP has Claude that is connected to Linux and of course to Calm, so you can get all your documentation. Normally, I would export those out into a spreadsheet to try to analyze it. What I hear you saying, you know what? Now Claude has this connector. I don't need to do that anymore. I can just basically do my prompt engineering or do my prompting to get me whatever report or whatever solution or whatever idea I may need to get out of it. That's what I hear you saying. Is that correct?
Yes. Basically, you can connect to any SAP and non-SAP systems and use using the MCP connector and use the reasoning power and analytical power of Claude and do your, required work.
Right. So you still have to give it the context, of course, and the prompt and to basically get whatever intention, whatever answers you want from Claude.
And Orpheus, one more thing is that, which I was telling in the session also, that there will be a time or there will be a day when the human involvement that we have would be minimized to such a level that it will just probably be a click of a button. That's it. Even now, we are very close to that. However, when AGI comes in, that role might be eliminated also because your reasoning models become so vast, so efficient that you do not actually need a human doing this. And if you ask me how will that day be like, or what about my feedback, honestly, even I don't know. That's a world where we all are fearing, because machines will start taking their decisions on their own. So again, obviously there will be governance. That's what we expect from these AI companies. But the only fact here lies the same, is that the change is constant and you have to adapt to the change. And you have to always trust that the change is bringing some good value into your life and you have to live with it. So the people who adapt to this change faster, they have a better chances of survival. That's what I can say at this moment, because even I'm sailing in the same boat as you guys, because as long as I'm educated in AI, I am confident that at least I can understand what is going to happen with me or what is happening in this world. People who are not yet reached that level, they are at a problem. But again, as a human being, I would say as a human being, our neural networks are so very efficient. If you use our brain, we can all learn things much faster than any other animal on this planet. Then that's why we are the most dominant animal in this planet, right? So yeah, I mean, that's what I can say and hope for. Yeah. Any other questions,
Deep.
Abhi?
Yes, I have a question, basic question here on the screen which you are displaying. These phases, what you are showing and explaining is looks like mostly helps the functional consultants to accelerate their work before the project, any new project implementation for the client. But after implementation, how this AI going to be useful to the users? Because this AI we need to introduce to the client and they will definitely ask for the ROI. So ROI means in their day-to-day business process where that AI will fit and accelerate their day-to-day business process. So do we have
From
any
the
use
from the
cases
no no
from the
no.
end user perspective? So if we try to implement this AI for the business, and they will
Mhm.
definitely ask for which process this AI can be used for their day-to-day business process,
Okay,
where
I give you a use case. I give you a
end
use case.
yeah.
So as of now, an end user has a problem. What are the steps does it do?
Yeah. So like, does it mean so one user may not do entire business process? Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I'll give you that. I'll give you. So record to report, there is a one process. In that, there are a few departments.
hear me out. Respecting everybody's time, let's keep your questions brief. Just answer me. What is the end user doing right now if he has a problem?
Yeah, if he has a problem, he raises the ticket, and the support team
Correct.
has to look for that ticket and
Correct.
resolve the
And there is
issue.
a ton
There
of
is
yes,
answers.
that's it. And support team does a fix and then it deploys and then that issue gets fixed and support and the end user is happy, right? That's how the cycle is. So if you see the last phase, the run phase, which I talked in pretty much detailed, probably you didn't hear that. So in that phase, if the turnaround time is made faster, suppose you have a incident raised and that has a turnaround time of say 2 days or 4 days for that matter, depending on various agreements that you have, SLAs and KPIs that are defined in as a part of your SAW. If the user has to survive with an issue for 2 days, or for that matter, the 24 hours for that matter, that entire day he's not able to, you know, probably it is gone for him. So that's a loss to the user, right? And once it is done in few, minutes or maybe within 30 minutes or so, analysis and everything will be done within maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It's just a matter of deploying it, designing your deployment process is anyways, established because you already deploy changes through a particular process. So if that can be initiated with AI, within an hour or two, your changes will be identified, fixed, tested, deployed, and the user communication being sent. Isn't it going to be great for the user? That is how it's going to, enhance the user experience. So I hope that answers your slide where I stopped. Yeah.
Question: how much theory, how much practicals we are going to cover?
See, already those details are mentioned in the cohort, right? You can go and check the cohort. I'll share the cohort link here. You can have a quick details on that. It is clearly mentioned the roadmap, how the course curriculum has been structured. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. If you can go ahead. I'm just
Yeah.
posting the cohort in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Post the cohort link. I think that will be good. So now this slide talks about the consultant mindset shift. Okay. So now I think we are getting, I would say personal for a moment. Okay, because this slide is about that. The consultant's not the technology. Okay. So the biggest change in this era that demands is a new tool to learn. Okay. It's a shift that how we see our own job. The slide's very first point says it plainly that move from only configuring systems to also designing intelligent process experiences. What does this mean? Intelligent process experiences. That is where AI comes in. Okay. For years, our craft was configuration to make SAP do things correctly. That doesn't go away. That is still there. But a new layer sits on top of it, which says that the designing experiences, where AI sits on the human side of this process and make it more efficient. That is what it talks about here. Okay. The second point is that this is the most important sentence on this slide. I would learn where AI should assist humans and where deterministic controls must remain. So that's the safe catch or the boundary, I would say, the thin line you have to understand where you use the deterministic controls, where you use the probabilistic controls, which is AI, and deterministic control is automation. So this is a judgment that separates a safe consultant from a dangerous consultant, becoming a dangerous one. So it's your job to know that a payment, say for example, payment posting says that, payment posting stays deterministic, not probabilistic. As I was telling you, a payment process to a vendor or to anything, that these type of things should always remain deterministic, that you do this, if this is done, okay, the payment should get processed. And if it is not there, you don't do it. Okay, that should not be probabilistic. You should not have AI thinking about that and deciding to make a payment to a user who probably is not the right one as per, setup. Okay. So your job as a consultant to have those guardrails. Now, while a ticket summary, summary of a ticket incident, doing the triages, as I was saying just a while back, that, from the end user's perspective, all these things can be AI generated. So getting that boundary right is the new core skill. And if you take one professional habit from, make it this: for every step, ask for reasoning or certainty before you decide what you build it, what builds it. Okay. The third point says that the focus is more on data quality, process context, security, and governance. Okay. Why this four? Because an AI grounded through MCP in bad data gives you confident, fluent, wrong answers. Because AI will look into the data. It will be very confident after analyzing the data. But what if the data is wrong? What if the data is wrong, and it will generate, basically your answers based on the data that it has, right? So that is where, consultant comes in. Now, the quality of grounding now directly determines that the quality of intelligence. Okay. Garbage content comes in, the garbage reasoning comes out. So as a consultant, it is your duty to ensure that, no garbage data is fed to the, SAP instances. So for an example, you see that you have live production data and you have a development instance or a UAT instance which is connected, which is there, where it has all sorts of test data, all sort of mask data, all sort of data where you guys have done your R&D, and it is all bad data right now in stale state. So what normally we do is we refresh the development instances from production and get the fresh data into the development and UAT instances, right? So here, before doing this step, if you still have those wrong data or bad data there, and suppose your design is done in such a way that your development instance is getting connected to your MCP, to your Claude via MCP, it will always give a the backend data becomes always stale, because your development data is not the right fit or right data as your production data. So if you connect your MCP with the development instance and try to get great quality of reasoning and outputs, you cannot get it because your data is wrong. So as a consultant, you have to make sure that you are channelizing AI with the right directions. Okay. So yeah, I think this is what it talks about. So the next point is basically focus more on data quality, process context, security, and governance. I think oh, sorry, I think this is what we covered just now. Yeah. So I think the last point, the fourth point, basically where which basically gives us a vocabulary. I want you to memorize this because it will change how you scope solutions. So solutions patterns. Okay, think for solution patterns like copilot, agents, workflow, integration, analytics, and feedback loop. What exactly are these things? Just have a look into the diagram, which is there next to this point. So when a client describes
sorry to interrupt you there. Where does this LLM fits in here? So you've given copilot, agent, these items, but where is LLM here?
So do you know what is LLM? I mean, how does a copilot work without an LLM, or an agent works without an LLM?
That's what I want to know.
So it is, so LLM, I mean, okay. Can you tell me how does Copilot work?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So Copilot works on LLMs, your agent works on LLM. So LLM is the base for, so I think, did you attend the training?
On and off.
No, LLMs were clearly explained.
Okay.
Weren't you not there in the training?
No, on and off.
I think you should go through the session on video.
Yeah.
Yes, because that will help you.
Because
if anybody has missed session, right, already the videos will be shared to you through email, and if in case you're enrolled, it is already uploaded in the LMS. So I request everybody, once today's session is done, go through the session on session 2 in depth. You have ample amount of 1 week of time before you go ahead with the session 3 next week. Okay.
Yeah, that will be easy, because see, if you jump in without watching the previous one, it is a waste of time for everybody, right? So yeah.
1 minute, Abhi. This is Abhi. See,
Yes.
so we have so many messages in the chat. We are unable to copy those. So I followed up with that. If you can answer that, how do we copy these?
Copy what exactly?
Copy what?
No, the messages, right? You put in all these links. So we are unable
Oh, the cohort links you're telling you're not able to copy, right?
Yes,
That you're
correct.
telling.
Yeah.
Okay, not to worry. I'll send it to your email ID. To worry. Okay, because already I don't know whether everybody is not able to copy or not because I have posted. It's a
Yes. Michael, is this
supporting.
something?
Able to copy also. That's because the when Alok posted those training, I think people were trying to copy them, but nobody
Okay,
is able.
not
It's
to
not
worry.
enabled.
Not to worry. Okay, we will do one thing. Anyhow, the cohort link and all these docs will be sent it to your email also. Support him, please look into that. That why they are not able to copy the chat. Okay, so not to worry. We'll share it to you. Okay. Yeah, Deep, go ahead, please.
Yeah. I think the cohort link should be there in that
LMS.
LMS, is it?
It's not just the cohort. There are a lot of other things that they
Okay.
pasted.
Okay.
We will. I mean, see, normally we'll pull out the chat transcript, and if there are some important information, we'll be shared to your email. Not to worry.
Oh,
We'll be
great.
doing
That is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will do that, Shrikant. Not to worry on that point. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. So I think while I, for the time being, whoever has asked that doesn't have access to the cohort, can you just send the emails to them because that is important. They need to
Yes.
understand,
Yes.
Yeah.
I will do that. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we stopped here. Like I was telling you that this cycle, there's this 5 steps or 6 steps that you have: the co-pilot, agent, workflow, integration, analytics, and feedback loop. Okay. So when a client describes a problem, the skilled move is basically to reach to the right pattern. So is it a co-pilot problem? You have to understand this. Okay, that a user needs an assistant in their work, or is it an agent problem? Is something needs to be done at a probably you do need to take a multi-step action, or is it a workflow problem as in it's a routing problem, maybe a deterministic routing or a probabilistic routing, whatever. It's a integration problem, an analytics problem, or a feedback loop problem. So this is where you need to understand. So somebody was asking in I think in the very first demo session that is our jobs going to be replaced by AI completely once it takes over. So that is where your consultant role comes in. It is not going to do replace every single job. There will be still a lot of roles like this, the consultant which I'm talking about, who will take this decision, what kind of design he's going to make. Is it going to make a co-pilot setup or an agentic setup or a workflow setup? How do they do the integrations? What all analytics they're going to do? This feedback loop will continue, constant checks. So that is done by human these days. As I said, very soon this will still be done by AI, but let's not talk about that, the future that we do not know. Let's talk about the future that we actually have. Sorry, the present that we actually have. Okay. So determining this pattern early is how you avoid forcing AI, where a simple workflow would do unnecessarily you're using AI here. So that decision making thing would have been is a consultant's job. Also to map all those patterns that we have learned till now, this co-pilot and agent patterns where Claude reasoning leads. So all these things will actually be governed and determined by the consultant's decision. Okay, the workflow, the integration patterns, these are all deterministic rails. So SAP built process automation, as you know, APIs, analytics. So all these things are basically needs to be the consultant needs to take a decision and determine how to use them best. Okay. Now, and across all of them, MCP is the connecting layer, as I was telling you, continuously for the last couple of days. That this is, it is it's a connector that is getting established with your systems, and you are connecting the cloud's reasoning with the MCP. Okay, so not everywhere you do this connection, because something where you can actually do a small automation, you don't do a I mean, you have a deterministic feature of automating things. You do not simply use an AI and doing that. So that do's, don'ts, where to use, where not to use, all these decisions are the consultants. So now the slide closes with the design principle that should sit over your desk. Basically, the design experience that empowers humans, automate intelligently, and continuously improve the business outcomes. So if you read it slowly, it empowers humans, automate intelligently, and improve outcomes. It never says replace humans. It never says automate everything. It never said deploy AI for its own sake. Okay, if you read that sentence. So that sentence is the whole consultant mindset in one single line. If you design, if a design you are building does not serve this all three, redesign it. Great. So coming to the guards, risks and guardrails, so which I was very much, I think we are getting we are getting a lot of chats regarding the risk and guardrails exposing companies' data and all. Well, what should a consultant must watch out for? Okay. So LLM outputs can be fluent, but it might be incorrect because if the data is incorrect. So validation is mandatory. If the data is also not, it might happen the data is also correct, but probably the prompt was written in a manner that the LLM could not interpret. So your validation is important. Okay. So now as a consultant, you can imagine a scenario that anyone can do can demo anything very shiny. The professional profession is the one, who knows where it breaks, where to, build the controls before it breaks. So let's take the warnings in the order. So first and the most fundamental is this point as it says. Okay. So now somebody was asking about LLM, So as I was telling, the LLM is basically the entire thing behind Claude. Okay. This Opus 4.8, Fable 5, somebody was talking about, Sonnet, which is a mid-range LLM. So all these are LLMs. Okay. Now, and the danger of an LLM is that it can that it's not that it sounds wrong. It sounds completely right when it could still be wrong. That is where the problem is. A confident, well-written, false answer is far more dangerous than an obvious error. Okay. Because nobody double checks it. Getting my point? This is very important. Try to understand. I'll repeat. A confident, a very well written, a fake or a false answer is far more dangerous than an obvious error because nobody double checks it to find the validity or the authenticity of the statement or of the generation from the LLM. So the validation isn't a very nice to have step. It is a mandatory step. Even under deep deadline pressures also, validation is always mandatory for anything that matters. Okay. So in the governance, I think in the fifth or sixth phase of this training, we have our module. I mean, we have our governance slides where you can talk about there is something called zero trust and many other things that you can actually do as a consultant. So those things will be completely explained in detail because your entire training objective that SAP for so AI for SAP with Claude and MCP, it fails if the governance is not right. If you're not doing the due diligence and making or having the right guardrails, your project fails. Okay. So you are using AI in a way that it is not supposed to be. So yeah, coming to the second point, that AI should be grounded in an enterprise context to improve accuracy and relevance. Okay. This is the I would say antidote to the first risk, that it's exactly why MCP exists. You are not asking the LLM to hallucinate. You're grounding its responses towards the actual data. An ungrounded model guesses from general training, as I was talking about in the LLM class, that any LLM is efficiently trained to provide responses for any kinds of answers. But if you're not giving the right context, not giving the right prompt, your I would say, your LLM is definitely going to fetch data which is not probably not relevant, but it should very confidently fetch that data because end of the day, it is only trained to retrieve the data or retrieve data from its own training database, whatever it has, based on the prompts that you give, based on the context that you assign it to him. Okay. So grounding does not make the model perfect. It is a mandatory step that you have to do a grounding in such a way that it dramatically narrows the gap between the fluent and the correct. Okay. This is the single most effective guardrail that you can build, and it's not architectural. Sorry, and I mean it's not optional. It is architectural. Okay. So governance with AI is something that you have to live it throughout its entire journey in your projects and even your own life also. You guys must be so AI educated these days that it is expected that you use AI at every form of your work, work and your personal stuff also, because it will actually help you. But without governance, suppose, I think I took this example, that if you give your financial data, your login ID, password, you know, your bank details, your account and, balances, everything to AI for analysis, do not expect that, your data is not going to be misused. It will be, for sure it will be. Yeah. Okay. So now coming to the third point, which is sensitive SAP data that requires strict access, approval, and governance controls. Okay. So, the moment the AI can reach your SAP systems through a connector, you have created a path through the sensitive data, and that path must be governed exactly like any other. Okay. This path could be like least privilege access, having correct checks on the approval gates, having full auditability. These are mandatory. A well-built MCP integration respects the same authorizations and and controls your SAP landscape that it already enforces, which means it doesn't get a backstage pass around them. Your client security team asks hard questions here, and you want to have the right answers ready, because this is where deals are won, not lost. Okay. Because definitely you'll face a challenge that your client will be questioning about the safety, of using AI into your systems, and where you as a consultant, which I was telling you in the fifth module or something, which will be, talking about fifth or sixth, maybe you guys can check in the cohort. I don't remember it exactly, but this will be covered in pretty much detail, that how AI governance works. Okay. So the fourth point you know is the boundary line for this whole course. I would say, do not use AI where deterministic execution, auditability, and compliance are non-negotiable. Okay. So, but not without proper controls. So you cannot use AI without proper control, where you need a, compliance, where there are auditability, etc. So some processes must be exactly, some process has to be, exact, traceable, provable every single time. Financial postings, regulatory reporting, those stay on the deterministic rails. As I was telling you earlier, the automation, which is the deterministic rail, these should follow this. I just giving you the same example which I just talked about. Your payment process, it should not be probabilistic or using AI. It should follow a deterministic pattern, because your payment system, you make a claim, you provide the right invoices, your team, the automation that you've set up checks for the correct invoice number and the payment amount and currency, etc. And it approves the payment. It should not be a probabilistic manner. Okay. So, so that is the guardrail. And the mature pattern is to let AI assist around them, read, summarize, recommend, draft, etc., while the execution itself remains deterministic and auditable. Yep. So the background work could be done by AI, but your final call will be deterministic, which is probably an automation. And most of the companies are anyways having people, they're human agents doing this, but yeah, you can do automation there as well, but not using AI to take that final step. So here the AI advises and the control system acts, because you have governance. Okay. So let's now bring it all home. We have a defined enterprise AI. I'm sorry. We have defined enterprise AI as intelligence that is grounded in real context, real business context. Okay. So we separated probabilistic reasoning from deterministic automation, and we placed AI across every SAP activate phase, and where we face the risk head on. Through all of it, one model, Claude, is used for reasoning, MCP used for grounding, and the deterministic backbone, master where each of these belongs, respect the guardrails, and you won't just use this technology. You'll be trusted to lead it. That's the consultant for this, this course is building. This will give you the idea that where to use what and how and why. Okay. So I think we are very close to yeah, I think it's done. Yeah. So that completes the module 1 in the first 2 days as per the plan. Module 1, topic 1, sorry, not 1. We still have a long module. I mean, if you see the training materials, I believe, you guys already have that. So I think there are 6 or 7, topics that are covered in module 1, because that is important. you have to understand this is pretty much without directly going ahead and using it. Okay. See, any tool, it takes very, less time to learn. But if you do not know the basics of this tool, the capabilities of that, features of the tool, it's not the right use of the tool. Okay. So I really thank you genuinely for your attention over this last 2 hours. I think, two days, I would say, not hours. Yeah. And this is the foundation that everything else in the course stands on. So the time you put in here pays off for every topic ahead. Okay. So quick recap just for your references for people who joined a bit late. What we discussed over the last 2 days is that you can define the enterprise AI now because it was very clearly explained, and you can also understand or explain what grounding is. You can also say that why grounding matters. You can tell a client exactly when to reach for AI versus automation. You can walk into a AI's role across the full SAP Activate lifecycle, and you can understand the risk to build the guardrails. You know them well enough, so you know how to build the guardrails, and you should not just, take things as it is. Okay. That is how, you as a consultant should be building the foundation of the AI adoption for your client or for your company. Okay. So we can uh, you know in the next few sessions we can go ahead with the hands-on and getting closer to how Claude and MCP actually connect to SAP's context and turning these concepts into working patterns. But know that once the hands-on or setup is done, you should always know the reasoning and the theory behind it, because that is important, because you are exposing your live SAP data to the AI world. So what kind of guardrails, how you use it, what are the best use cases, what are your use cases where you can use a AI model, where you can use a deterministic model, all things will be taught in the training ahead. Okay. So I think we are almost 1.5 hours. We can probably go with some questions now. So shall we open the floor for questions?
Yes. Let me. Before that, I just want to explain, like, since and we had a lot of participants who have joined the webinars, almost like 20 folks who are already enrolled for this batch. So people who are already registered, I believe you have received the LMS. So probably we'll be releasing the server credentials to all the participants who are already enrolled. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to the sales team. Meanwhile, I have already shared the payment link and the cohort details in the chat window. So whoever is interested, we are going to close the enrollment soon. So go ahead and register. Okay. So that much I want to say from my side. And guys, any questions, you can just go ahead.
Abhi, one more thing.
Yes.
I think we were discussing with Alok that we shall take this course from 6:30 to 8:30 in the next classes,
Yes,
which
absolutely.
you can translate the time into US time, and probably.
Absolutely. So we will. I have already informed the support team to update the same in the LMS.
Okay.
So going forward, we'll be having Saturday, Sunday, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. IST, which will be like 8 a.m. To 10 a.m. Central Time, Chicago time. Okay. So people who are joining from US, it will be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, guys. I think one question is there in the chat window. Now go ahead and unmute yourself, because right now already we are on the last phase, question answers. Go ahead, please. Okay, let me read the questions from my side. So many companies already have implemented SAP overall over several decades across the world. Only very few companies are in greenfield implementation. Most of the companies are in S4 transformation. This course describes kind of greenfield implementation. Do you have any numbers? How much clients, like how many such clients already have used Claude plus MCP for their?
I can answer that. So no, but what made you think that this is only for greenfield implementations? Can you answer that? Let me hear your understanding first. Because this is for brownfield, greenfield, there's no restriction in that. It is it is the it is it is something that you can use anytime, anywhere. It's
Okay,
just that you need to have the capacity, and you're planning to use it. That's it.
Okay, guys, I think some people are using the older version of Zoom, so I would request everybody to update it. So that is the reason, I've checked with the support team that a lot of people are not able to copy whatever the context we are posting in the chat window.
That shouldn't be an issue, correct?
See, it is not about the browser. It might be some older issue. You need to go and update your application. So that's what I'm
No,
trying to.
just take a poll. Just take a poll that, guys, any other people are able to copy paste from the chat? Can you just speak up, unmute yourself, and tell that whether you're able to do that?
I mean, if you can raise your hand also, that is fine.
Yeah, that is also fine.
I'm able to do.
See,
So
that's
yeah, so if,
so
if someone is able to do, then I think it could be a problem with the, yeah, probably have to
correct.
check it. Yeah.
So that's why I was telling, like some people are able to copy paste. So that means you have to update the Zoom version. Okay.
Yeah. So there's no problem with the LMS or this session as such. It's probably could be the
Hello, Deep.
version.
No, but most of us cannot copy from the chat, and I'm already use the last version for the desktop application from Zoom.
So I think, Ahmed, what best could be done is, I think as Avi was mentioning, after this training, they will take a dump of the entire, the chat history and reach out to the people with the answers to the questions. I think that's what you said, right, Avi?
Yes, yes. And normally, see, during the session, whenever you face any kind of technical issues, right, our support team is available 24/7. So we can connect over a Google Meet with them and they can, guide you on the steps if in case you're
Okay,
facing.
but I think it's authorization. You must check it. Yes.
So that's why.
Okay, maybe Avi, it's good to have a check done with the support. Okay, so
Yes.
because
Yes,
yeah,
yes. I
let's
will
do that.
Thank you.
Let's do the due diligence from our part. But probably if with a normal, logic, if even if 10% of people are able to copy paste and 90% not, it's probably not the problem with the portal here. It could be something else. But again, let's check that. Yeah.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
We'll check that. We do the due diligence from our side, that whether it's due to any access or something. But again, we'll do that.
Let's go ahead and take the questions because we have, I think
We'll skip to the next person, maybe, just for the interest of time, because
Yes, absolutely. Any questions, folks? Go ahead, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, I have one query here related to I'm a basis consultant. And could you please elaborate on this thing, how it is feasible and what is our role and responsibility apart from, MCP setup and LLM setup? What could be that basis consultant role here in all this?
Your role is the most important role here, because that is where you're going to do it. Okay, you are the person. I mean, basis guys are the person who will be helping in getting this thing done. Okay, and having said that, how you can use it. Okay, so I believe, as being a basis consultant, you don't use the financial data from SAP and other things, right? That's not a part of your job. You're not using the basic SAP applications for invoice, purchase orders, etc. Right? You're just managing the systems, SAP systems, right? Managing the IT side of SAP systems, correct? Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So your job is the very first person. I mean, you are the very first person who will be intervening here to doing the setups. Okay. And the best part of this is, as I was telling you, this is not an integration with only SAP. It is for integration with any other applications that SAP is working with or already integrated with. Setting up the MCP and other things. This would be the key thing that you will be learning here. Since you are not much into the documenting BRDs and analyzing invoices or purchase orders, etc. So that area probably is not of any use to you, but your job will be more into the setup configurations and.
I have unmuted him. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So yeah. So yes, I mean, so that is where you step in, and your knowledge from this course would be as I was telling you, somebody asked me this question, that how will this course help the consultant or the architect or the project manager or various roles. So that's what I had given an answer, that this role is independent of the person who's doing that. It is more generalized and aim for making you a AI generalist. How you integrate AI into various systems, how you do this, and how you take the advantage of AI associated with other systems. Okay. So that is where it's going to help you. But as your job is more focused into the admin or in the infra part, the aspect of leveraging AI for making business decisions and BRDs and invoice purchase order analysis or your ticket analysis, this is not going to be of any use to you, but you can take the other part for your use, how to integrate MCP into various systems and how to use the integrated systems of SAP and establish them.
No, but this thing will be done by that implementation team, right? So those people will be.
No. You have to set up the OData. You have to set up all the backend things in the server.
Yeah, but
The
our role and responsibility would be limited here, right? At the end, it will come to us, right? So end user support kind of any huge cases like you already discussed earlier. So there during the setup and all multiple use cases we need to be submit while implementing those things.
There will be unlimited number of queries that will be coming in, because as I was telling that we are not integrating everything using MCP, right? We are not exposing the whole SAP system to Claude using MCP, because if that would be a problem, because that would be a problem with governance. Okay, so people will be coming to you asking that you have to set up this for him, you have to set up this for him. So your job here is not to do everything, do all the setups for everybody. There should be a proper governance model which is established based on some proper approvals and proper channeling. You will be working in establishing the SAP in the server, and you can help them in getting it done in the local setups also. That we'll anyways be discussing in the further trainings, how to do that, etc. Yeah. So there is I would say 30% 30% effort from the consultant side, and I would say 60 to 70% help from the SAP basis guys that is needed here for these configurations. Next question. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Hi, this is Mukunda here. So Claude MCP through Claude, through MCP, Claude connects to SAP, but there is the Joule which is already developed by SAP. What is the importance of the Joule? Joule is going to be faded in future.
Mukunda, you refer to the training. This was explained. Okay, the recording is there. This was clearly explained. You can refer to the training. So this was explained clearly.
Mukunda will share you the email anyhow.
Second question is that this cloud will be helpful for the BDC and SAC guys?
This is for not cloud. This is Claude, first of all.
Yeah.
So again, my question is, what are the key steps or key work that these guys do? If you can tell me the top 3 challenges, I can tell you the use case.
Yeah, basically they're reporting. SAC is basically for the front end reporting, right? All dashboards, all business intelligence reports, and then planning reports. Those areas will be covered by these SAC folks.
Yeah.
And the BDC is the newest development. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's take the SAC first. So just imagine the thing. So when a dashboard is created, what is the basis of the dashboard? I mean, based on what things the dashboard is prepared? Can you tell me a one letter word?
Yeah, dashboards can be prepared by the BTP analytical view.
No. You have to get your thinking right. Think like a consultant. What is the building block for a dashboard? What exactly do you need to build a dashboard?
Yeah, dashboard could be for any sales or as a business.
No. Can anybody answer that? What exactly do you need to create a dashboard?
To build the data. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You need the data.
Data will be there always.
So data will be there always, but you need to train the data, right? Pattern.
You need to train the data. You need to train the data. You have to churn the data. So with any data, automatically the dashboards will be created. No, right? You have to make the data in that format, and then only it will be displayed, right?
Yes,
that is where AI steps in.
Comes into play, right? Extract the data, transform the data, load the data in the required format, and create the report. That's a step.
Yeah, will it help in any of these? Or
yes, of course.
Okay, yeah,
of course.
The only thing is how extensive you are going to show it to the
So guys, I would also request
we are expecting
you. Very good question actually. Who asked this? Raj, right?
Yes, that's
a very good question.
Let me clear. Let me ask what I want. Theoretical part, nobody is going to listen that. Only the practicals, right? That's what we are expecting. That's what how much practicals you are going to cover.
Exactly. Yes. I'm coming to that. So first answering your first point, okay, that what extent we'll be showing you. Okay. So if you guys are ready for some best possible use cases, okay, we are going to show you all of them. Unique, of course. I mean, it should not be that you come with the same use case, somebody comes with the same, obviously respecting everybody's time. We can cover all the use cases, all the pain points that you guys are facing and how we can, help it here using Claude and MCP. First answer to your first question. Second is about the practicals. Of course, once you know that what exactly is the concept here, you will be, I mean, we will be running to the practicals. And how you do that? As I said, you come up with the use cases. Let's do it in this way. Okay. So every session will have probably the last maybe say 30 minutes or so. We can take up, anyways, we are going to doing practicals. Even after that also, we'll show you in practicals, we'll go through the general view of how to do things with a very limited use cases, or maybe, most commonly used use cases. We cannot cover every single use case in a 40-hour training. It is not possible. Now, I would request you come up with your use cases. We'll see, we'll take the most common out of that just to make sure that we are taking the unique use cases. That would be really good. If all of you, suppose if 20, 25, 30 people are there in the training and each of them come up with three use cases, it's 60 use cases. Out of that, if I say 50% is unique, you get 30 new use cases, which can cover in the course. It's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Raj, I'm just passing over the ball to you because you guys are working in the live projects, live environments, right? I mean, the use case that you cover in this course might not be the one that you will be using, right? It could be very practically speaking. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I pass on the ball to you that you come up with the use case, maybe top three. Okay. I mean, when I say top three, it's not that you come up with four and we say that no, we don't take four. It's not like that. I'm just giving a general thing. To come up with top five also, no problem. But once we have that complete list from all 20, 25, 30 people or whatever, whatever the X number of people who are joining in, and out of that, say, if 80% comes with a use case, so we have a say a count of say total of 60 to 70 use cases. Out of that, if say 30, 40 are unique, we can definitely go through them. That we can organize in that way. And that will be of real help for you guys actually.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So assuming that
One
we
quick
don't have
thing,
any test cases, how many test cases you are planning to demonstrate to us?
We will try to cover, as I cannot give you a count right now, but I can definitely tell you that we'll try to cover most general use cases that is faced in the industry by people. We have done that research, and that is how we have designed this course. You have the cohort details that will probably elaborate more.
For the last 2 days, you're making noise again. Sorry. Yeah. So thanks for these 2 days. I was chatting with the ZaranTech staff, the same thing. SAP just signed up or announced in the Sapphire about this integration with the various AI tools. One of them is Claude, and then Palantir for data migration and things like that. So I know these are all going to help, but being a new integration partnership with Anthropy, probably they are also working on and all they can open the gate for Claude and safely. And as of SAP is the most integrated ERP system. So definitely this is going to help. But all of us are new to this. What way we can, as you said, that use case studies or we can come out with the case studies or whatever it is for practical purpose. What way it will make us, definitely it is not going to train us everything in this 40 hours course. Even if you go for a SAP course also, it is not going to cover all project scenarios and things like that. It is going to enable you avenues and revenues, where to look for it, how to use it. It's basically training you and giving you the tools. And you are in the battlefield and you have to win it. Okay, so I get that. But we are looking more into the practicals. As you said, none of us know, but SAP also doesn't have any curriculum on this right now. So where and all it can help, and where and all we can go and add value.
That's what I said, right? I mean, see, the point is this course is designed by not only by a single not by a single person. That is being designed by a wide number of SAP consultants who has actually worked in live projects for a long time in their career, and we have taken up the most common use cases that are possible. Okay. Now it might very well happen, Sundar, that you might not have encountered that use case. Okay. That is the reason why I just told Raj, I think, who asked me. That is a very good point actually, which I said, then you guys can come up with a use case and we will see how we can, resolve that, because that will give you a practical view. Okay. So it is not possible for us to cover each and
No, I get
every
that.
possible use case in this world in 40 hours. It's not possible, right? So the best way is either you go by our use cases or you come up with your use cases which we can try to figure out and resolve in this course. That's the idea. Or we can do a blend of
Makes
both,
sense.
So,
Yeah.
because see, the end
But
of the day, you
thank
are
you
the
for
one
this.
end of the day, you are the one who will be fighting in the battle. Okay. And when you're in a battle, we cannot have a relay concept that you do this, you do that, you drive here, you go here. No. So you should be well equipped. So the training is designed in such a way that you should be able to figure out what is the most realistic approach for this kind of a problem. Fair enough?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for being open. Thank you.
Yeah, because Sundar, one more point to add here. Okay, as I was saying, this course is not there anywhere as of now. Okay, so the more
SAP just
mature,
announced.
yes, so the more mature we become with this, the best possible scenario it will be for this course. Now, how do we make maturity soon? We come up with real cases from you guys. That's what I was saying. And whoever enrolls, they will be given an option to probably send out their use cases, the top 3 or top 5 use cases, and send us a list. So we can go through that. We can find out the most common of them, because I believe most of the cases would be common for, let's take a practical guess. 50% would be common. Okay. So 78,
I'd
whatever
say
comes in.
maybe more than, for example, CDS view is a CDS view, whether it is a MM or FI or anything. If you're going to train a couple of CDS views, and everything is going to be similar. Same thing with ABAP code. Same thing with configurational documents. So
Yeah, I
what we
mean,
have
see,
to.
that is what I'm saying. You guys come up with as unique cases as possible. Okay. It is up
And
to
the
you.
client will definitely will ask for, especially with the statutory reporting, balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, which you submit to the call sheet. Those reports, they will definitely would like to know how vulnerable it is to the card and trophy, because you are throwing it to the public, So
See, again, the point is, if you have an enterprise work, if your so there are two things, Arun. I'll be very, very blunt here. Okay. If your client says that they are not going to expose anything to the AI just because there is a security reason, when there is an option to put guardrails, but still they're not leveraging that, they're not going to use AI, they're not going to trust AI and go with the traditional method. So all I can say is a good luck to your client. Probably that client won't be there after three to 4 years if they do not adopt AI. AI has to be adapted. That's the very first thing. It's just that it has to be adapted within guardrails, within governance. Okay, that is the only thing I can say. And if the client is so concerned about that, ask you as a consultant, suggest them that you take an enterprise license with Claude. If you do that, your data remains within on-premises, doesn't get trained, doesn't go outside. I discussed this very clearly yesterday. I don't know why this question still came up, but yeah.
But we have to also consult through them and
Of
then
course,
tell
what
them,
is your role then? You are a consultant, right? I mean, you cannot go blindly. What if a client says, okay, turn right, turn left, okay, wait in the signal, okay? It's not like the client is going to do that, right? And you're also not going to hear it like that, right? You're a senior consultant. You should be knowing what is the best use case for your client. And remember, guys, the very first thing, think from your career perspective also. If you are working on a project which still deploys these traditional methods without adopting AI, what is your knowledge gain here? What is your existence? I mean, your existence will be in question after a few years. So unless you propose the client
we
to
are all
adopt,
here. No, we are all here only for that purpose. Definitely, AI is the future. There is no other.
yes, but it is also your duty, Arun, to propose to the client. Okay, your client might not be aware, or they might be aware, but they still have this doubt. What you just had, that what if our reports, our financial statements, our forecasting, planning, everything goes out in the open air? if some competitors takes it? Well, there are chances. That is why you have guardrails. You put that, right? I mean, see, very, Arun, I tell you a very nice example. So you have a small child, okay? You keep him at home, you monitor him, always knowing that he can make mistakes, he can fall from the bed, he can slip on the ground, etc. But once he attends, becomes a teenager or gradually goes to college and all, do you still accompany him for his college every day? No, right? So you are exposing him to the risk, but with some governance that you have trained him that you should cross the road safely, you should you should not hang around the bus, you should not put your hands outside the bus or train or whatever you're going. So all these things. So this is how you have structured things. Okay, you have trained him, but some part of
Good
risk are
example.
still there.
We all become a parents of AI, I'm
And
just
that's what I'm
kidding.
saying, right? See, there is. So what if Sundar, you tell me, forget AI. Your client does not do anything in AI. Okay, it will still survive for a few years probably. But what if your employee, as in your client's employee, steals the data or does a DDoS attack and gets the data, penetrates into your system? Your data is still exposed to the AI, right? I mean, before the advent of AI, don't you think there were malware attacks that exposed the entire company's data, say 10, 15 years back? They did, right? Your company's data still went outside.
That's a good example. Yeah, you're right.
Correct. So this is how you should explain to the client that, if they are fearing this,
This is
what about the
absolutely true.
cybersecurity attacks?
I still remember 25 years back when I went to the client side, there was nothing was blocking, nothing, it is next to impossible even to store something in your Google Drive or download or upload or anything, so you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
they have exactly. So they have implemented the governance, right?
Yeah.
Because earlier days when I started 25 years back,
It's a very good example,
our
actually.
pen drive, our Google Drive were all, I mean, Google Mail, Gmail, and all were enabled. Gradually they stopped everything. Okay.
Yeah, everything.
Earlier, then the next stage they started blocking mails from external emails like Google and all. Okay, so that no malware and all thing comes in. They stopped blocking attachments, what is being sent from your corporate email to your Gmail. Okay. Even companies, there are companies I know, they only allow your salary slips and probably your tax statements and other things that comes officially. Those can be forwarded. Other things are not. There are several trainings being given to employees every quarter or every, say, 6 months or so about this, cybersecurity awareness, threats, and governance. It's being done, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys do that, right? For your awareness. I mean, that is the reason, you should have the governance. Without that, yet. But yes, if your client is so adamant that he's not going to AI just because of this reason, so just pass on my all the best to your client. That's all you can say. Yeah.
In this course, are you going to cover all the configuration for the governance?
For the governance, yes, there is a module. Yes, separate module for that. Of course, yes.
So you'll do step by step how to configure and
of course
to avoid the leakage of data,
yes
right?
yes
Okay.
we will do all the standard steps that is being done in the governance area. But as I said, Raj, earlier, see, nothing is 100% foolproof. Okay, I think I was telling you.
I got it. Yeah.
So just going by the same example that I mean, most of us probably might have become parents, and we are guiding our child. But once he exposes, once he becomes a teenager, we expose him to the real world. We ask him to go to their classes alone and go to the college. You don't accompany them, but there is still a risk of having an accident, right? So that is always there.
No, I agree, but I like the idea of linking the role into the SAP already has a governance. Even to start with, if we give the authorization only to those predefined roles for Fiori or any other SAP defined several tasks in S/4HANA. So even if you safeguard those roles and if the cloud adheres to that authorization roles, I don't know whether it is there, but I'm putting together what you spoke in these last 2 days. Even that is there. That should be good enough right now, if you ask me, So
there are many things that we have, but the point is, let's be very honest, nothing is 100% good enough that 100% confidently we can say that no data leakage will be there. Okay, that is not possible. Okay, that is not at all possible.
That is SAP's, believe it or not, I'm not trying to over dominate here, but it is SAP job too, because they just signed up. They'll be working on it to make it.
Correct. See, it is the more the more awareness comes in with people, the more,
Yes.
it is all about awareness. You should know what you are doing, what you are exposing, right? As I was just telling with an example, that you do not expose your chat GPT or your Claude or your Grok Gemini. You pass on your bank details and your password,
Bank
saying that
details.
you log into the bank and create me a total investment plan. You cannot do that. I mean, so you have to know what you should do, what you should not do. That is getting taught, of course. But also there are some standard methodology, as you said, SAP already practices. And trust me, these enterprise licenses comes with a lot of inbuilt governance and guardrails. So it's a layer on layer on top of each other. So the more
And then also, I don't think you can reach S4 without going through the, see, for example, Claude has MCP and SAP has BTP. So that is the only way we can go, I think, So I don't know. You know better, I think you have already configured it.
There are many things, Sundar. Let's take it in this way, that there are many things that we can do. Okay. Now it depends on how you do your particular scenario, what kind of contracts that you have made with SAP, or if there are no contracts, what are the other guardrails that you can have from your side. So all these things will matter. Okay, all these things will matter. So now,
it doesn't matter for the training class, but I'm just curious. Definitely Claude and MCP is going to be there. S4 HANA. You will be connecting to S4
if we have a live, I have to check with our basis guys, that what kind of systems that they have set up. I'm sure it is there. Yeah. Okay. Because we are, so when I say SAP, it is not only one SAP instance. There are many. I mean, SAP has Linux, SAP has Signavio, SAP has HANA. So so we'll check with that. That is not a problem. It's just that, and I want to make this course more interactive also. I mean, you guys should also come up with some kind of suggestions, and we'll see what is the best possible thing that we can do. Because as of now, as I was telling you, there is no standard course or standard processes that is available, because this was very recently announced by SAP, yeah, in this recent SAP Sapphire. Yeah, I think this happened about a month or 2 months back, right? If I'm not wrong, I think just last.
It was in May first
May,
week.
yeah, correct, May, yeah.
Hey, but one question: do you think how would this fit in the government sectors?
This was answered.
Already they have the Anthropic. Just to let you know that.
Yes. No. This was also detail in a detail manner answered in the video, like in the training. So probably can refer that. Yeah, the trainings are already shared. Yeah.
Somebody said federal, right? Which one? Like, do you know what agencies have implemented it?
They already signed up. No, I'm not sure where do you live, but I'm in Houston. So there is a lot of controversy between President and Anthropic, and now they are officially. Long time back. They already officially announced that they are going to keep Anthropic as a partner.
Just imagine, even U.S. Army also has a tie-up with Anthropic.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling.
The recent the turmoil that is going in the Middle East, Anthropic is one of the key responsible things. I mean, not responsible. I would say key things that is being used by the U.S. Army to take decisions. So they have a federal tie-up, of course.
Yeah, as long as if they have good data governance, government sectors will sign for it. That's what
Anthropic stock market went up when they grounded everyone that they will not do anything unethical, and that is the one conflict they had with the government. Then finally everybody understood that there is no other way except that listen to Anthropic. So it looks like overall they are in a right direction as far as the guardrails or compliance or security is concerned. But the rest is as we explained earlier. When system came, we are all vulnerable a little bit. Then finally they narrowed down. They found the loopholes, and then they also have to arrest the system not to hallucinate, to roam around somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, see, if you guys, I don't know how many of you know this. If you know about Claude Mythos, which I was telling, I think somebody was telling in the beginning of the training that Mythos, that Fable 5 based on the Mythos family, which was released by Anthropic recently, and it was taken back, the access is taken back. So Claude Mythos actually, I mean, in brief, I'll tell you, it actually was, installed and, activated in a development instance, and it jailbroke the instance. It did a jailbreak. It came out, went into the production instance, and sent an email to the person saying that I'm here already. So that's the power of AI. Okay. So now Fable 5 is the LLM pertaining to this Mythos family. Okay. So now we have several families. We have Sonnet families in Claude. We have Opus family. So Mythos is another. It's the most powerful model that human has ever made. But when they realize there is a risk, so Fable 5 was not released as is the marketable or the public version of Mythos that was released. Okay, it was not having that jailbreaking capabilities which the original model has during testing. So it was a much lighter version, but very powerful. Okay, so now when US released that, this probably needs more governance and they want to limit it, restrict it. So they did that, but it will be eventually released. Nobody can. I mean, if Claude doesn't release that, for sure OpenAI or ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini will release something similar. Yeah. So they're not going to, stop that, but probably with proper governance. As I was telling you every single time, that governance is the key, guys. You have to understand nothing is foolproof and perfect. Okay, nothing is foolproof and perfect. Don't you think that do you think that your bank account and your assets are all perfectly safe? No. Even if you have proper guardrails, there could still be vulnerabilities, but the extent of damage can be limited by putting correct guardrails. The frequency of damage can still be limited by putting correct guardrails. That is all is then in our hands. Rest is, anyways, there is.
See, imagine we are all in SAP for a long time, and SAP, we are not hardly anything in SAP. Whatever role we can be in any company, anything. But as an organization, they already signed up. We have no other choice. So it is more worrisome for them than us, to be very honest with you.
And I was telling this very in the very beginning of, I think, course or the demo class. I don't remember.
We have no choice other than we ourselves migrate to the system.
Exactly. We don't have much of choice. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Maybe I think for the interest of time.
Hey, it's Orpheus here. Thank you for the class, and there was good conversation and discussion going on. And I think this is what we need. I'm part of a cohort of other AI for Finance Club, but more on the operational and on the technical part of accounting. So I think this is a good conversation that we're having here. But I want to ask you specifically about the class. I may be getting ahead of myself, but are you planning to demonstrate custom skills, how we can use Claude skills in this class and basically to leverage it as part of the AI for SAP?
So Orpheus, I would say I would take your question in this matter, that as I was telling in the previous conversation, that this is a very recent announcement that they had, and we planned this course along with a few very senior SAP consultants to prepare the content. However, I would tell you, the knowledge is unlimited. I mean, basically nothing can be put. I mean, we cannot say that nothing is getting missed in this 40-hour cohort. It is not possible because there is so much of learning, in to be made. So, considering your fact, this opens up a very interesting conversation that, probably, as I was telling earlier, that build up 3 to 4 use cases or 5 use cases that you're having. We'll try to solve those problems practically. Along with that, why don't you also come up with something that is not a part of this cohort but could be covered in probably in maybe the last part of the session? We can definitely try to do that. We as SAP consultants and trainers, we as in from ZaranTech, we can have our consultants and trainers and discuss and try to bring out the value for those as well. I mean, I'm okay to do that.
Right, exactly. Because I'm part of the AI for Finance Club, and a bunch of CFOs and controllers and so forth. So I'm pretty much aware. I don't get into technical accounting because that's how I get started in this. I'm using Claude and ChatGPT for my work right now. I mean, just to share with folks on the call. Even I'm doing assessment, and I don't put all the information there. I mask the data, I redact it, and able to create business cases, create approach. As a matter of fact, even showing integration between, I have templates that I've created with, say, Linux and Signavio that I'm using for clients. So
exactly.
So basically, it's people scared about this AI. I'm not afraid of it. In my opinion, I think it's an opportunity for us to create new businesses, new way of thinking.
Absolutely.
It's expanding, and I think you can't do it by yourself because the knowledge is so vast that we have to get people who are motivated and people who are really, really serious about it. And like you said, form this cohort where we can exchange ideas. I mean,
Exactly.
even, I mean, I'm going next week to SAP Autonomous Tour here in Atlanta, and I've been following the series, and it's just so much information. It's just sometimes it get overwhelming and scary. So
I
to your
understand, Orpheus. Yes,
so
yes,
to your
absolutely.
point,
So yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So that's what I was saying, you know. So in this, if you say how much, I mean, can I get the complete learning of entire SAP and entire Claude things, everything in this 40 hours? Answer is no, it is not practically possible. But we shall enable you throughout this course to think like a consultant and improve you know, as best as possible. But to make this conversation more interesting, you know, I'm not asking you to deviate from the course, but we can definitely top up some topics. As I was telling, you know, responding to Orpheus, that why don't you guys as consultant come up with maybe some good ideas which is not there as a part of cohort list is anyways shared, right? I mean, if you don't have access, Abhi will take care of it, you know. So he will send the emails to, you know, all of you, and you can speak up in any one of the classes also. Probably we can take a
Sure.
note. Yeah. So
Sure.
Orpheus, probably we might not be able to do immediately with that, because we probably need to discuss among ourselves, you know, with our SAT consultants, what should be the best use case. But we can definitely come up with that in one of the following sessions. If it is a small one, and if it is something that is going to impact a lot and it's a big thing, then we can definitely, you know, cover in one of the last parts of our course, probably, where we shall note it. We probably have a you know, kind of a marker here in the training portal, so that, you know, we can keep that highlighted, saying that
Right.
we will
Sure.
discuss that in a later part of the course. We'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. That's a
Sounds
good
good.
idea,
Thank you
actually.
so.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I got to drop. Thanks for the class, and see you next time.
So anything else, guys?
The question is that this announcement is pretty new from SAP. So how far SAP is ready on their side, on the MCP and the cloud? Because there needs to be some development to happen. And
well, see, when there is a partnership that has happened, which essentially means that they're ready. It's not the, say, SAP is not an immature company. Okay. It's a organization that is running for years since now, and it's kind of dominating the ERP space and many other space for that matter. Okay. So when they have done a partnership, they're obviously going to adopt that. They're not doing it just for playing, right? They have a plan in mind.
Okay, I did not mean to say that SAP is not ready, but you know, the SAP development from the, I think, from our experience that we have been using the SAP for several decades, and SAP releases on a controlled manner. Okay, so this is not something that everything is available in day one. Okay, so how do we see here? Is it a risk to see that? But because once we start the training, for example, we see that a lot of you say connectivity is not happening, and these things cannot be integrated with SAP between the cloud MCP and cloud MCP and the SAP instance, whatever we have. So do we have such?
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. Okay. Integration is perfectly possible. We have done that. We have tested that. It is fine from our end. Okay. Now, whether your client gets adapts this or not, your company does this or not, it is not a part of our job. Okay. Our point is to educate you to enable those services. That's it. Okay. Now, if your client is reluctant to use SAP for Claude for, say, next 3 years, do you have a choice? No, right? You still have to live with it. So that is where we cannot intervene. And that is not a scope of this program also. It is up to you how you take it to the client. Our job is to impart you the knowledge that how you can do these integrations. Now, if your client, see, very simple, guys. You guys are working for a company. If your company is not at all interested in adopting this, what you can do best? I mean, you can obviously quit the company and join a company who does that, but I'm not going to that extent. Do you have any choice being in the same company? No, right? Then there is nothing that, you know, we can do here. It is up to you how you can propose, build up a use case, build up a proposal, and do that. And you can actually, after getting this training, you can actually frame a proper use case for you, that why you need to do this. And you are being trained, and you're probably one of the best persons to do that for your company. If your company still doesn't wants to use it, though being a partner of SAP, or maybe, you know, a user of SAP, and when SAP has already partnered with Claude, at this age, if they're still not able to willing to integrate Claude and other things, then again, all I can say is that you can wish them luck as well, from our side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
one question I have. So basically, suppose if you have a use case, right? Suppose being a functional, so you have use case. So basically, somebody for us to expose the specific data, like what you showed yesterday, like get the invoices and other stuff. So somebody has to build in for us to some part of technical work is there for again expose the data for us to really work on this one, right? Like
Yes,
different kind of invoice. Okay.
Kiran, that is what the setup will be taught to you. What is
Oh,
needed to be
okay.
done. It is not a thing that somebody needs to be extremely technical in doing that. Okay, it's not like that.
Okay.
Set up few SOP. You understand the SOP document, right? The standard operating procedure, and do that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just checking like how much of coding
Yes, it
knowledge
is.
we
It is.
need to
No.
have. Okay.
There's no coding. There's no coding. Yeah, it's just a bit. Just a bit.
So basically, we can tune that like was like invoices, like you showed some kind of different invoices. Suppose if I want a
Yeah, I
different,
mean, there are two things that you can do from your side. First thing is that, I mean, we'll show both of the cases. There's a local setup that you can do where you can connect to SAP locally, configure locally. That will need some part of coding. Coding as in, I would say, just maybe not even 50 lines of code in total, 30, 40 lines of code max. Okay. And we'll provide you the code. You just need to execute it. Your role will be just to execute that. I will show you how to execute that. That's for local. Local means you have a personal SAP instance, or, you want to connect your instances locally from your own machine, which very rarely it is getting used, because anyways, you are using the company's, your live SAP instance from your client, right? So, or from your company. So while doing that, that setup is very minimal. The technical is very minimal there. Just a few line changes. That's it. So don't worry. As long as you're able to buy a new phone and configure it using your, you have that knowledge, you can still do this very well. It is half of that.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm just trying to understand, because
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah. I also asked about the SAP basis consultants work and also I just kind of explained that. Yeah. So basically, there are a variety of roles that you have, right? A basis role, functional role, and a technical role. So this encompasses everything basically here. Yeah.
Okay. No, because if I have use case, right, I need to see like how many channels I need to go forward to really. It's not like I design my own case. Okay.
No. You won't. You have the control, and as a functional consultant, you should be knowing that what you want to see. You should not. Again, I'm repeating the same thing. You should not expose everything to Claude. That governance you have to do. Correct?
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? You have?
Yeah. Sorry. One last question from my side. So from the ratio perspective, we have SAP and then we have the Claude plus MCP. What is the percentage of the ratio that we will be, experienced in this training?
Well, you go to the cohort, you will know what is the training giving you. You can probably calculate that. I don't have a figure in mind. It is very difficult for me to give us saying that 30% MCP, 20% SAP, 50% Claude, something. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. As long as you guys are not understanding and not confident, it will still cover all those things to make you confident. That's the idea. Okay.
Okay, so it's more on the Claude MCP, I would say, rather than less in the SAP side.
Because you guys know the SAP thing, right? We're not going to teach you how, FICO works, how ABAP works. Yeah.
Go to SAP, this course is not for them.
This was not for them, for very sure. Okay, we're not going to teach SAP for you. And you cannot expect, Claude and MCP to be taught and the complete SAP modules, SAP FICO, ABAP, everything, basis to be done in 40 hours. That's an unfair expectation. Okay, we're not, because there are already courses there already with ZaranTech which covers the complete SAP spectrum. Correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe, those are for the initial consultants who don't have any idea on SAP.
If somebody is new to SAP, we have program in ECC also. That's
yeah.
Okay, so this course is specifically on the weekends, right? Not on the weekdays.
It's a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday.
Weekend batch, yeah. 6:30 to 8:30 IST.
Okay.
Do your conversions according to your region.
8 to 10 p.m. AM. Sorry, 8 to 10 a.m. Chicago time, morning.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I think we could hear some other people also talking in parallel. I missed it.
Yeah, guys, go ahead and ask before we wind up. So if
I think we can take up a couple of more questions and then wind up. Yeah.
Thank you. To see you in the course. Thank you. Bye.
Yep. Thanks, Sundar. So if there are no questions, shall we wind up, or we'll wait for another couple of minutes maybe?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, speak up if you have any questions. Else, we'll give back some 5-6 minutes.
Guys, I have shared the cohort and the payment link in the chat window. And anyhow, people who have attended yesterday's session, I have already dropped them an email yesterday also with the cohort details and the payment link. So again, after today's webinar is done, right now it's done. So the sales team will send you all the details in email about the cohort payment link. And anyhow, I've shared it in the chat window. So people who are ready to enroll, you can go ahead and click on the payment link and go ahead. Okay. Any questions, guys?
And I have one question here. Let's say I have the one SAP program is there, which is a very lengthy program. I won't convert that one into technical spec or functional spec, something like that. So I think generally copy pasting that program into cloud or something is vulnerable, correct? Because those are sensitive program lines. I do not want to disclose to the outside, outside of the company. Can you please send kind of guidance on it?
Badari, this was discussed in pretty much detail, exhaustively in multiple questions. And go through the training
Okay,
sessions.
I'll go through that
Go
one.
through the session.
Probably I might have missed it. Sorry.
We will share you the recording, not to worry. So by default, people who are already enrolled, they already have the LMS where the video recordings will be uploaded by the support team. And today's session and yesterday's session 2 will be sending it to your email also, not to worry.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So that's how it is. Okay. No more questions, then I think we should conclude, or any more questions left?
We can conclude, I think.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. People who are enrolled, we will see you next week, session 3. And people who are not, I would request everybody to register at the earliest as possible so that we can go ahead and close this batch. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.